would never have guessed that casually scrolling through a short video would actually bind you to a system. You were just bored at home, opened TikTok, and suddenly came across a video like this. Congratulations on finding this video. Are you feeling overwhelmed by the stress of life? Welcome to the perfect life system. To claim it, all you need to do is comment 3 Doge emojis. After watching the video, you let out a bitter laugh, thinking to yourself, man, there are so many prank videos these days. Still, figuring better safe than sorry, you casually dropped the 3 emojis in the comments anyway. After that, you got up and headed out. Today was the day of your very first blind date. Your relative set you up, bragging that she was pale, gorgeous, and had legs for days. Just to get your family off your back, you agreed to go meet her. You arrived at the agreed restaurant, took a seat, and quickly glanced at your blind date. Instantly, you were absolutely horrified. The woman sitting there looked to be barely 5 feet tall. 3 thick layers of foundation couldn't even cover up her dull skin, and she was wearing this black mesh dress that she clearly thought was sexy. The overpowering stench of cheap perfume hit you right in the face. You were just about to politely say hello, when she suddenly cut you off with a dead serious tone. Let's not waste each other's time. You're pretty good looking, as long as you can meet my other demands. I'll marry you. You couldn't believe you had run into such an absolute freak on your very first blind date. Right then, all you wanted to do was run away, so you just humored her. Alright, let's hear it, you said. First of all, she began, your monthly salary needs to be at least 50,000. You have to be able to cover all my daily expenses. Second, you must own an apartment in Shanghai that's at least 90 square meters. And it can't be in some old neighborhood. Third, I shouldn't even have to mention the car, right? Any brand is fine, as long as it's a luxury car worth around $1 million. Oh, and are you over 5'11"? Because if you're shorter than that, we really wouldn't look good together. Faced with this rapid-fire list of demands, you opened your mouth to speak. But the woman just kept firing away. On top of those basic conditions, we need to eat at high-end Western restaurants costing at least $8,000 a meal, twice a month. And I expect one brand new Louis Vuitton bag every month. Plus, a trip around the world once a year. And the most important thing, the dowry is $880,000, and I won't accept a penny less. Oh, and one more thing. I have a male best friend, and we literally do everything together. You wouldn't mind that, right? Hearing this, you just smiled and nodded. She actually thought you were agreeing, looking at you with hopeful eyes. A moment later, you calmly replied, are you out of your freaking mind? I am honestly amazed by your audacity. Take a good look in the mirror. You've got more nerve than anyone I've ever met. She gasped, you disgusting jerk. How dare you speak to a princess like me that way? I don't know what kind of trash Uncle Wong set me up with. You didn't even bother arguing back. You just turned around to leave, because staying even one more second near a woman like her made you feel like your IQ was actively dropping. You walked over to the front desk. The woman thought you had suddenly found a conscience and were going to pay the bill. Her attitude softened for a second, until you just slapped 3 coins onto the counter. You bought a single bottle of Coke. However, the exact second you grabbed the bottle, a robotic chime echoed in your mind. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully binding the spend to get rich system. You have successfully spent 3 yuan. Rewarding you with a Lamborghini Veneno, valued at 70 million. Hearing that, you almost did a spit take of Coke all over the poor cashier's face. Then it suddenly hit you. That short video you had swiped past on your phone earlier. You had actually unlocked a real-life system just by sending emojis. Right at that moment, you felt a sudden weight in your pants pocket. You reached down and grabbed it. And sure enough, you pulled out the keys to a brand new Lamborghini. You stepped right outside the restaurant doors. You saw a crowd gathered around a sports car, gasping in absolute awe. Your heart pounding with excitement, you gently pressed the button on the car key. The deafening roar of the supercar's engine instantly ripped through the air, sending the startled crowd backing away. A Lamborghini Veneno. Even in the ultra-expensive city of Shanghai, seeing one was incredibly rare. You stood in front of the car, just about to open the door. And a sweet voice called out from behind, Yi Yang. Is that really you? You turned around, and realized it was Lin Xue'er, the most beautiful girl from your high school class. You two hadn't seen each other for all 4 years of college. You were pretty surprised too. Wow, it's been years. I never expected you'd be driving such an insane car. Lin Xue'er looked at you with total awe. Even though she majored in finance, she basically became unemployed the second she graduated. She couldn't find a decent job anywhere, but since she was pretty gorgeous, she became a full-time streamer. Today, she was actually doing a live stream out on the streets. And just happened to bump into you. You awkwardly scratched your head, and smiled. Ah, it's just okay, I guess. At that moment, the dozens of viewers in her live stream absolutely lost their minds. Oh, I didn't know our girl knew a literal billionaire. A Lamborghini Veneno? I heard there are only 20 of those in the entire world. I think this is the first time I've ever seen one in China. Doesn't that cost over 70 million yuan? Hey streamer, is this our future brother-in-law? Oh man, her top donor. If Brother Hao finds out, he's gonna be green with envy. Lin Xue'er's pretty face flushed bright red. Guys, stop talking nonsense. He's just an old classmate. Just as the viewers in her stream were dying of jealousy, a violent slam of a door echoed out. A heavily made up, dumpy-looking woman stormed out. She kicked open the restaurant doors and screamed at you disgusting piece of trash. How dare you run out on our blind date without paying the bill? But, the moment her eyes landed on the hypercar in front of her, they lit up like a Christmas tree. Because Zhang Yan was a professional gold digger, she spent all her time researching luxury cars online, dreaming of marrying a billionaire and living the ultimate high life. She had watched videos of the Lamborghini Veneno countless times. Seeing this completely unhinged woman screaming at her dream guy, Lin Xue'er felt a rush of anger. Who do you think you are? What gives you the right to yell at my Yi? The woman sneered. Oh? And where did this little pick-me bitch come from, thinking she can lecture me? I'll scream at him if I want to. What's it to you? But let me give you a little tip. Stay away from this deadbeat loser in front of you. If a girl doesn't find herself a rich husband, she's gonna regret it for the rest of her life. The crowd watching was absolutely speechless. If the guy driving a Lamborghini is a loser, then what the hell are we? Lin Xue'er gritted her teeth and ignored her. She gently grabbed your hand. Yi. Let's just go. Don't waste your time with this shameless woman. It's been so long since we caught up. Let me treat you to dinner. You smiled warmly at her. No, let me treat you. You popped open the Lamborghini's door. Lin Xue'er slipped into the passenger seat, looking a little shy and nervous. With a heavy stomp on the gas, you peeled out of there. The deafening roar of the hypercar echoed violently down the entire street. Zhang Yan stared in sheer, unadulterated shock, and the very next second, her legs gave out and she collapsed to the ground. She never, in her wildest dreams, imagined that the loser she had been cursing out was actually a multimillionaire. You drove off, and eventually pulled up in front of a familiar street food stall selling grilled cold noodles. Even though the system had just rewarded you with a hypercar, the actual cash in your pocket was only enough to afford this. After all, you had just graduated from college with a degree in software development. You had just landed a job as a programmer at a tiny startup, and you hadn't even gotten your first month's intern paycheck yet. Broke as a joke, you smile at the street vendor and say, "Boss, 2 orders of grilled cold noodles, please. Extra cilantro and green onions for 1. And extra sugar and vinegar." A moment later, the vendor hands the grilled cold noodles to you. The system chimes with another notification. Detected that the host spent 20 RMB on grilled cold noodles. Awarding 1 billion in cash. You quickly unlock your phone. A text from the bank pops up. 1 billion really hit your account. You can't help but mentally cheer. Damn, this system is insane. With 1 billion, you're set for life. You hand a portion of the noodles to Lin Xue'er and say, "Haha, I'm in a great mood today. After we finish these, milk tea is on me." Meanwhile, Lin Xue'er's livestream chat is blowing up. Such an insanely wealthy tycoon. Not only put that gold digger in her place, but is also chilling and eating street food like a regular guy. And it's all live on stream. It's a once-in-a-lifetime sight. After finishing the food, you take Lin Xue'er over to a premium milk tea shop nearby. Judging from what just happened, seems like the more money you spend, the bigger the reward. You can't wait to see what the next reward will be. The shop owner is quick on her feet. Seeing the two of you walk in, she assumes you're a couple and immediately recommends the Midsummer Sweethearts combo. Childhood Sweethearts. Just as you pull out your phone to pay, a snarky, sarcastic voice sneers from behind you. You turn around. It's Jin Bujung, the intern team leader at your company. Clinging to his arm is an overly dolled-up, flirty woman. Jin Bujung looks at you with pure disdain. Got a few loose pennies in your pocket, huh? And you think you can play big shot and pick up girls? The reason Jin Bujung is mocking you is simply because ever since you joined the company, you've caught the eyes of all the female interns. It completely ruined his chances to hit on them. He really can't figure out those new intern girls. Why on earth do they like a broke loser like you? Can a handsome face pay the bills? Jin Bujung smirks at the shop owner. This kid just ordered the childhood sweethearts, right? I'll take every last one of them. Hearing this, the owner is startled. Premium milk tea in Shanghai isn't cheap, and the childhood sweethearts is an incredibly expensive couples combo. The flirty woman clinging to him immediately chimes in. Oh, Jung, you're so cool. You're on a whole other level compared to these pathetic interns. Hearing this, Lin Xue'er is furious. That is way out of line. But you just smirk. You give the owner a casual wave. Hey, boss? Every single cup of milk tea you have in stock today. I'm buying it all. Hearing your words, Jin Bujung is completely dumbfounded. He knows your intern salary hasn't even been paid yet this month. There's no way you can afford that. Besides, even if it had, it's only 1800 RMB. Buying out the entire shop? That would cost at least 70 or 80,000. Jin Bujung figures you're just acting tough. He scoffs at you again. Hey, you're really out here faking it till you make it, huh? I'd love to see you actually cough up that kind of cash. Lin Xue'er nervously tugs at your sleeve. Brother Yi, maybe we should just let it go. You smile and shake your head, pulling out a bank card and handing it directly to the owner. Seeing this, the owner tries to gently talk you out of it. Young man, my shop makes nearly 100,000 a day. There's really no need to blow all your money just to save face. Don't worry, boss. This is just pocket change. I can afford it. Hearing this, the shop owner can only give a bitter smile. He swiped the card right then and there. A second later, the terminal chimed. Payment successful. Jin Bujung instantly panicked. No way, he muttered to himself. That's impossible. The viewers in the live stream went absolutely wild. You don't get to see a live, satisfying smackdown like this every day. The shop owner was beaming. Sir, all the bubble tea in our shop today will be made exclusively for you. Hearing this, you just waved it off. No need. Just keep selling to your regular customers as usual. Then, you pointed straight at Jin Bujung. Well, except for those two. Suddenly, the system's sweet voice chimed in your ear. Ding! Reward! Full ownership rights to the Imperial Commercial Tower in Shanghai. You were absolutely stunned. The Imperial Commercial Tower? Isn't it the exact same building where my company is located? Jin Bujung was sweating bullets now. Sure, he had a little bit of savings. But he wasn't about to blow 100,000 yuan on bubble tea just to show off. Realizing there was no way to save face, he pointed right at your nose and screamed, "You little punk. Just you wait. If I don't get my brother-in-law to fire your ass tomorrow, I'll take your damn last name." With that, he grabbed the woman next to him and stormed off in a rage. Lin Xue'er was laughing so hard she could barely breathe. Oh my god, Yi. You are absolutely incredible. Did you see how mad that suited-up creep was? He looked like he was about to smash his phone. But wait, he's one of your bosses, right? Is he gonna make things hard for you at work tomorrow? You gave a light chuckle. The real show doesn't start until tomorrow. Later, driving your supercar, you dropped Lin Xue'er off at her apartment, and then headed back to Xinhua Heights, the neighborhood where you rented your place. This neighborhood was mostly filled with struggling, low-wage office workers. So, when they saw your Lamborghini Veneno, everyone immediately started whispering, trying to guess which billionaire family you belonged to. Once you got back to your apartment, the very first thing you did was pay off your overdue rent to the landlord. Your landlord, Auntie Zhang, had always been really good to you. Seeing you suddenly pay everything off in full, she was a little puzzled. But the very second she tapped accept payment on her phone, the system's voice chimed in. Detected that the host has spent 5,000 yuan on rent. Reward. A Shanghai Cloud Peak villa, valued at 880 million yuan. The property deed and all related documents have been added to the system's personal inventory space. Even though you had mentally braced yourself, your heart still couldn't help but race. Curious, you tapped the button to open your personal inventory. Instantly, you were brought into a virtual space. The property deed, along with a bunch of other paperwork, including the ownership title for the Imperial Commercial Tower, were all safely stored right there. You were the only one who could access this space. It was absolutely freaking awesome. The moment you exited the inventory, you heard a knock at your front door. You opened it to find Auntie Zhang standing there. She gave you a warm smile. Little Yi, she asked. Did you just get your paycheck? You know there's no rush on the rent, right? How about I send 2 months worth back to you? Just to give you some breathing room for now. Thank you for looking out for me all this time, Auntie Zhang, but I'm actually getting ready to move out. Oh, why's that? Is the rent getting too expensive here? I actually have a really nice apartment over in the Fuhua neighborhood. I can rent it to you for half price. How does that sound? In reality, this was entirely her daughter's idea. Her daughter, Qianqin, had been completely obsessed with you from the very first moment she laid eyes on you. And the real reason Auntie Zhang treated you so well was because she already saw you as her future son-in-law. Being a landlady with 3 or 4 prime properties in Shanghai, she certainly wasn't hurting for cash. Her only focus now was making sure her daughter found a good husband. Even though you were fresh out of college, totally broke, and didn't come from money, Auntie Zhang had spent enough time watching you to know that you were a genuinely kind and good-hearted guy. You're so hardworking and driven. My daughter, Qianqin, has taken quite a liking to you, too. So when she heard you were moving out, she was actually really worried. There's no need, Auntie Zhang. I feel bad imposing on you. I just bought a place here in Shanghai. I only came back to grab a few things. Hearing your words, Auntie Zhang froze in shock. What? You bought a place? Where on earth did you buy a house? Peak Villa number 1 in the Genting district. The movers coming to pack up my room will be here soon. I'll just have them deliver everything over there. After hearing this, Auntie Zhang stared at you, completely bewildered. Oh, sweetie, did someone at your internship give you a hard time again? Are you starting to hallucinate? She reached out and felt your forehead. You don't have a fever. What in the world is wrong with this kid? Spouting all this nonsense. Seeing her reaction, you couldn't help but let out a bitter smile. But honestly, you completely understood why Auntie Zhang was acting this way. After all, the Genting Villa District is the most exclusive, top-tier luxury estate in all of China. Left with no other choice, you pulled out your exclusive Genting Villa VIP access card. This can't be faked, right? Auntie Zhang took the card from your hand. She carefully examined the supreme keycard, intricately inlaid with gold and jade. Just the craftsmanship and materials alone had to be worth several million. She was so stunned that she was completely speechless. A moment later, she finally looked up at you. Are you actually some ridiculously wealthy heir who was just out here experiencing the struggles of ordinary life? And now your 3-year trial period is up? Are you about to go back and inherit the family fortune? After saying your goodbyes to Auntie Zhang, you hopped into your Lamborghini Veneno, tearing down the road until you finally pulled up to the Genting Mountain Villa district. The moment you stepped out of the car, you were greeted by row after row of gorgeous women in sleek black stockings and uniforms. Our Genting property management team has organized a special welcome ceremony just for you. We want to ensure you feel like an absolute king returning to his castle. Right after that, your Lamborghini was whisked away into your private garage by a professional valet, while you were completely surrounded by the stunning welcoming committee. You started taking in the surroundings of your new estate. Holy crap, your villa literally took up an entire mountain peak. A private golf course, a temperature-controlled rooftop pool, and an equestrian track in the backyard. It had absolutely everything. In a prime city like Shanghai where land is worth its weight in gold, a mansion like this only costs 880 million. You couldn't help but feel like you scored the deal of a lifetime. Just then, the head of the hostesses, Yu Momo, walked right up to you. She handed you her business card. Hello, Mr. Yi. This is my direct line. I am your exclusive personal concierge, here to take care of your every need. If there is anything you desire at all, no matter how late it gets, I will personally come to your room to take care of it. You gave her a knowing nod. You could already vividly imagine what your life was going to look like from now on. You walked into your massive living room with its 5-meter-high ceilings, threw yourself onto the ultra-luxurious Becker sofa, and let out a long, deep sigh of relief. Now this is what I call really living. Suddenly, you felt a little thirsty. Using the estate map, you navigated down to your private wine cellar and casually grabbed a bottle. A top-tier Romanée Conti worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You savored the literal taste of money blooming on your tongue. As you drank, you thought to yourself, I definitely need to hire a few professional maids in the next few days. Otherwise, having to uncork my own wine every time is going to be way too much of a hassle. While you were busy savoring your wine, the entire executive board of the Shanghai Empire Commercial Tower was holding an emergency boardroom meeting. The directors and shareholders were all gathered together, sweating bullets and completely panicking. Have you guys heard? Director Li just sold the entire tower for 300 billion to some mysterious Mr. Yi. Exactly, this Mr. Yi is incredibly mysterious. Even Chairman Li has no clue about his background. He just told us we absolutely have to nail this handover. Right now, the only piece of information we've managed to dig up is that he bought the King Villa over at Cloud Peak Mountain. A buddy of mine in real estate tipped me off. Wait, the King Villa? You mean the exact same one that those two tech billionaires were fighting over? But ultimately neither of them could get their hands on? The ultimate King Villa? Hearing this, every single chairman in the room gasped in shock. Looks like the power behind this Mr. Yi is completely beyond our imagination. The chairman of Zhonglai Financial tapped on the table. The whole point of calling this meeting today is to pick a representative to reach out to Mr. Yi. If we all just go bothering him one by one, we might actually piss him off. If he kicks us out of the commercial tower, we are completely screwed. With that, the Zhonglai chairman slapped a piece of paper onto the table. This is every single detail we could find on Mr. Yi. Tonight, we get our requests straight, and tomorrow, we officially go pay him a visit. Meanwhile, over at Villa No. 1 on Cloud Peak Mountain, Yi Yang was lounging comfortably on his baker sofa. He was sipping on a top-tier glass of Romanée Conti, just casually scrolling through his phone. Suddenly, his WeChat buzzed. Seeing the contact name was Liu Qianqin, Yi Yang's face lit up with amusement. Liu Qianqin was Auntie Zhang's daughter. Ever since he first moved into their place, she had been secretly plotting to get her hands on him. Simply put, she was totally thirsty for him. And speaking of Liu Qianqin, she was the absolute definition of young, rich, and beautiful. Standing at 5'7", she was easily a solid 9 out of 10. Her top-tier looks could genuinely rival even Lin Xue'er's. She was currently a master's student at an Ivy League university in the States, and her family owned 4 apartments right in the heart of Shanghai. The only problem? Yi Yang absolutely hated the idea of being a sugar baby. Back then, he always went out of his way to avoid her. But now that he had his own wealth and confidence, he felt completely at ease. Yi Yang, how could you just move out like that? You broke your promise. Wah wah. Liu Qianqin immediately followed up with a super pouty emoji. Yi Yang couldn't help but scratch his head. I bought a house. I can't exactly leave my brand new place empty, right? He replied honestly. As a classic, straightforward guy, he had always relied entirely on his good looks and sheer hustle to attract women, ever since he was a kid. The word simp simply did not exist in his dictionary. And as for those guys who did simp, well, they usually ended up completely miserable anyway. After all, the kind of guys these top-tier girls actually fell for were sunny, handsome, and fiercely confident guys, exactly like him. You bought a house? My mom told me you bought villa number 1 up in the Cloud Peak district, but I thought she was just pulling my leg. Is it actually true? Yi Young, were you secretly a super rich heir this whole time? Wait, don't tell me you've had a crush on me this whole time? Have you just been testing me these past few months? Is that why you were renting our place? I am taking time off. I'm flying back to see you right now. I am gonna pin you down on that bed, and I'm not gonna let you get up. Reading this rapid-fire string of messages, Yi Young absolutely didn't know whether to laugh or cry. When a girl is truly into you, you could literally call her a pig. And her brain would automatically twist it into you calling her cute. So, being a simp was absolutely pointless. Being confidently yourself was the only way to go. Then I'll be waiting for you, Yi Young casually texted back, and then completely tossed it to the back of his mind. After all, Lin Xue'er had just flown back to the States a few days ago for her Ivy League research program. How could I just drop everything and come back? I'm just kidding, of course. Then it's settled. See you in the US. Lin Xue'er's usually cold and glamorous face was suddenly filled with a shy blush. This is the first time Yi Young has ever given me such a clear hint. I'm so happy. She looked down at her own pale cleavage. She was absolutely confident in her own beauty. As long as Yi Young gave her a chance, she was confident she could make him completely hooked. She'd make him fall for her completely. She immediately texted her advisor to ask for time off. I should book the flight early, too. While Lin Xue'er was busy fantasizing about all sorts of romantic scenarios, Yi Young opened up the Chanyan app and clicked into Lin Xue'er's live stream. Lin Xue'er usually did street fashion shoots during the day, and live streamed her singing at night. And dancing, but tonight, she was obviously swamped. Because she had hung out with the billionaire Yi Young all day, and personally witnessed him totally humbling that gold digger. From eating street-side grilled cold noodles, to him buying out an entire bubble tea shop. It was way more dramatic than any TV show. This instantly boosted Lin Xue'er's follower count by 200 to 300,000. These new viewers were all talking over each other, bombarding her with questions about Yi Young. Xue'er, what's your relationship with that insanely rich guy from today? I can't believe he actually drives a Lamborghini Veneno. Yeah, that video of the 70 million yuan hypercar is going totally viral right now. Everyone is debating the true identity of this super down-to-earth billionaire. Just which hidden tycoon's son is he? Yeah right, get out of here. Billionaire Yi is mine. Lin Xue'er watched the chat flooding her screen. She felt a mix of joy and a tiny bit of jealousy. She was glad to see Yi Young being so popular. Since she had always had a crush on him, she couldn't help but feel a little possessive. But she completely understood. After all, how could a man that incredible not have fans throwing themselves at him? Still, reading through the chat, she was pretty shocked herself. She could tell his sports car from earlier today was super expensive, at least a couple million. But she never in a million years imagined it was worth 70 million. 70 million, like, what does that even mean? Even when people dream of winning the lottery, they only dream of 5 million. Congratulations, Brother Hao, for sending a helicopter gift. Holy crap, Brother Hao is here. The show is about to start. Ha ha ha, Brother Hao has always been her top donator. He's been drooling over Xue'er for ages. Now that he sees everyone spamming about billionaire Yi in the chat, his blood pressure is probably shooting through the roof right now. Ha ha ha, Lin Xue'er also froze for a second. Why is this annoying creep back again? Her heart belonged to Yi Young, and she felt absolutely nothing for Brother Hao. But the clearer she made it that she wasn't interested, the more insanely he spammed her with gifts. It was like he was a total masochist. She just couldn't wrap her head around it. Meanwhile, in a private villa over in the capital, Brother Hao, whose real name was Jung Hao, lounged on his leather sofa. His sunken, exhausted eyes gleamed hungrily as he stared at Lin Xue'er on his screen. A pure, flawless, breath of fresh air beauty like her. Was someone even a veteran playboy like him had never seen before in his life. He practically threw money at her every single day, fully intending to win her over with pure cash. But today, the second he logged into her stream, everyone was talking about some bullshit, billionaire Yi, instead of a massive whale like himself. Just as he was about to rage in the chat and demand to know who this so-called billionaire Yi was, a level 1 burner account under that exact name entered the room. Instantly, the entire chat went completely berserk. Brother Yi. Seeing Yi Young log in, Lin Xue'er's eyes totally lit up. Muttering to himself, Boss Jung sat on his sofa. His face was beet red from anger. I dropped thousands on gifts for you, and you completely ignore me. But now this measly level 1 burner account comes in doing absolutely nothing, and you're sweet-talking him, calling him, big bro. Jealousy made Boss Jung completely lose his mind, gritting his teeth in rage. You little country bumpkin popping up out of nowhere. Watch me crush your ego with my gifts. Congratulations, Boss Hao has sent a carnival gift. While people were still guessing if the level 1 account was the real billionaire god Yi from earlier today, the carnival's special effects filled the entire screen. Holy crap, Boss Hao is so generous. Awesome. The chat room started a wave of kissing up to the top donator. Cutting through with an untimely greeting, God Yi spoke to the streamer. First time being this close to a billionaire. I'm so happy I'm gonna faint. God Yi, do you need a maid? I look really cute in women's clothes. It's you again, you creep. Get the hell out, don't steal my dream guy. With just one single sentence, Yi Yang completely overshadowed the hype of the carnival gift. He instantly flipped the vibe in the chat room once again. Holy shit, Boss Jung was completely dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? One sentence beats my carnival? Who the hell is this guy? At this moment, he also realized that Yi Yang might actually be a tough rival. He needed to take this seriously. Hey, you, Yi Yang. You think you're pretty badass, huh? You got the balls to go head to head? He typed directly in the chat, issuing a challenge. Damn, Boss Hao is getting jealous. He called it. If Boss Hao found out about God Yi, his blood pressure would shoot right through the roof. Haha, I wonder who's actually richer between the two of them. Is the clash of the billionaires about to start? I made it right in time for the kickoff. Grabbing my popcorn, sitting in the front row for this. Step right up, get your peanuts and sunflower seeds here. The viewers were all living for the drama, eager to see the world burn. Amidst the sarcastic taunts, Yi Yang took a sip of his Romanée Conti. A cold smirk crossed his lips. He was just worrying about having nowhere to spend his money. And now, someone was practically begging for it. What the hell is a carnival gift, anyway? A single casual sip of his Romanée Conti was worth God knows how many carnivals. Plus, he could make his old classmates some extra gift money. You're on. He typed out those simple words. It sent the entire chat room into an absolute frenzy. God Yi truly lives up to his top-tier billionaire status. Even his words are so cool and concise. Just like a domineering CEO. I'm so blessed. The war has started, guys, it's starting. Haha, this is gonna be a great show. Perfect. Boss Jung sat up from the sofa, buzzing with excitement. His face was practically itching for a fight. Your daddy Jung has never lost a head-on clash. His fingers tapped frantically, typing out an arrogant declaration of war. Alright then, let's skip the fancy tricks. Keep it simple and brutal. We only drop the most expensive carnival gifts. Let's see who can drop more. Just don't end up losing your pants later. And running away with your tail between your legs. That'd be embarrassing. Boss Hao is so confident. Looks like he loaded up his account with a ton of cash today. God Yi is in danger. The guy above me is a total idiot. Boss Yi is a super rich kid driving cars worth tens of millions. Compared to this old geezer brother Hao. Ha ha ha. The chat room was filled with laughter and cheers, everyone eagerly waiting for the clash of the billionaires to begin. Meanwhile, Yi Yang just smiled faintly, and casually typed out. Right back at you. Holy crap, still daring to talk back? Mr. Moneybags Jung was already turning red with anger. Having completely lost his mind by this point, he directly adjusted the carnival gift quantity to 10. Tap, 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 tap. His finger jabbed the screen 10 times, instantly dropping 100 carnivals at once. Holy crap, 100 carnivals. Brother Hao is so generous. A single carnival costs 2 to 3,000 bucks. Dropping 100 at once. That's 2 to 300,000, burning through most people's half a lifetime of savings in just a few seconds. It made all the viewers in the live stream incredibly jealous and totally envious. How about that? I'll make sure you can't even keep up with the very first wave. Just a young punk, and you dare to compete with my wealth? How much pocket money can your daddy even give you? Mr. Moneybags Jung absolutely refused to believe Yi Yang was truly rich. Even if he was, it had to be his daddy's money. Sitting on the baker sofa, Yi Yang just shook his head. After tapping once, he sent out another single gift. 101 carnivals. Beating Mr. Moneybags Jung by exactly 1. Ha ha ha, Boss Yi's move is totally savage. Legendary, beating him by just a hair. Lin Xue'er stared at the carnivals that simply wouldn't stop popping up on the screen. Watching it made her heart pound wildly. In just the blink of an eye, 4 to 500,000 in cash gifts just flew by. She had absolutely no interest in Mr. Moneybags Jung. But Yi Yang was her Prince Charming. How could she let her dream guy spend so much money? Maybe we should just drop it, Brother Yi, she said softly. Screw you. Mr. Moneybags Jung exploded with rage. You dare to slap me in the face, huh? I'll make you take a good look at your Grandpa Jung's wealth. Saying that, he recharged another few million tremor coins into his account. A battle of the billionaires. I came over from the next room, specifically to watch this live stream war. Can someone who knows the drama clue me in? The battle between the two mega spenders instantly made the live stream's popularity soar past 1 million. This topic also rapidly climbed up the tremor trending search list, ready to explode. I came in from the trending list. Where is the billionaire battle? Boss Yi, is he the same super rich guy who drove a Lamborghini Veneno during the day, but then walked with a goddess to eat street food grilled cold noodles together? That video went completely viral online. The livestream's popularity, after hitting the trending list, actually reached a staggering 2 million plus viewers. Countless people were furiously tapping the like button. Trying to act tough in front of me? You are still way too green. Brimming with confidence, here is another 100 carnivals. I will crush you. Yi Yang raised an eyebrow. He dropped another 101 carnivals, beating him by exactly one, every single time. Mr. Moneybags Jung's face turned completely red. Even though he had topped up hundreds of thousands, spending it like this, he would hit rock bottom in just 2 or 3 waves. But Yi Yang seemed like a bottomless pit. No matter how much he sent out, he actually started to feel scared. Once fear crept in, his brain, which had been completely dominated by raging hormones. Gradually, his anger cooled down. Wait, something's not right. Am I being played? The wealthy boss Jung hesitated. After pacing around his living room for a long time, he finally gritted his teeth and cursed angrily. Screw it, I don't freaking believe this. I've lived for over 30 years, and you're telling me I can't even beat some brat? With that, he took his remaining balance of coins, and tipped it all in one go. Congratulations, Boss Hao has sent a carnival. Holy crap, is Boss Hao going all out now? Can God Yi keep up? 199 carnivals. That's almost 500,000 yuan, right? That's no small amount. Dropping a fortune for a pretty face. That's so damn satisfying to watch. Man, if only I were that rich. This wave of carnivals instantly pushed the atmosphere to a climax. While everyone was buzzing with excitement, Yi Yang simply shook his head. In the past, if he saw someone casually dropping hundreds of thousands, he might have been amazed and envious. But to him now, this really wasn't a big deal. Casually sending out a wave of 999 carnivals, Yi Yang tossed his phone aside. Because he knew that Boss Hao on the other end had completely cracked. There was no way he could keep matching him. The moment they saw 999 carnivals flash across the screen, everyone was dumbfounded. The livestream with 2 million viewers instantly went dead quiet, like a haunted house. Lin Xue'er also covered her mouth, her eyes as wide as saucers. 999 carnivals. 2 million yuan. This was just. It took a long time before someone in the chat finally reacted. Typing out a comment with trembling fingers. Is this what a true god of wealth is? I'm on my knees. Chat was soon flooded for a long time with people saying I'm on my knees and this is terrifying. 2 million gone with just a flick of a finger. This is just inhuman, okay? The wealthy boss Jung collapsed onto his sofa, completely giving up the struggle. His previous guess was right. He had run into a genuine, super rich heir. Even though he was wealthy, he was just a small-time business owner in the capital. His total assets barely scraped a few hundred million. Dropping over $1 million just now was only because he was blinded by anger and Lin Xue'er's beauty, gritting his teeth through the financial pain. Sigh, I've really hit a brick wall. He silently closed the app, covering his face. He was too ashamed to face anyone. Just a moment ago, he had mocked the other guy, telling him not to run away with his tail between his legs. Now, barely 10 minutes later, those exact words were slapped right back into his own face. Smack, smack. Why has Boss Hao gone quiet? Hasn't made a peep in ages, haha. Didn't you see he's not even on the viewer list anymore? He ran away ages ago. Tried to flex with those carnivals? What trash. It's just that our god Yi's flex was too massive, scared him right into tears. Haha, this battle of the wealthy gods ultimately ended with Yi Yang's 999 carnivals. And tonight would also be the night Yi Yang ascended to godhood across Chanian's entire streaming community. The name God Yi also successfully took the #1 spot on Chanian's trending searches. A super god of wealth appears. 2 million in a single second. What deep meaning is hiding behind those 999 carnivals? A mysterious whale crashes the billionaire battle. 999 carnivals in one night helps a gorgeous streamer gain 3 million followers. Countless people came out of nowhere just to see the hype, immediately hitting that follow button on Yi Yang's profile. Overnight, Yi Yang's follower count broke the 5 million mark, totally blowing past Lin Xue'er, who was the actual streamer. This left them both not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Is money really that much more attractive than beauty? Yi Yang looked at his sudden surge of 5 million followers and just shook his head with a smile. He was probably the first person on the entire internet to have never posted a single video. In his inbox, countless girls were throwing themselves at him, sending over their spicy, revealing photos. They went completely crazy spamming his direct messages, doing anything they could to catch his eye. Yi Yang honestly suspected that if his address got leaked, these women would completely overrun his #1 villa. It was way too terrifying. Completely overwhelmed, Yi Yang just went ahead and turned on his privacy settings. I'm so sorry for all the trouble today, brother Yi. After going offline, Lin Xue'er frantically messaged Yi Yang on WeChat to explain herself. How about I just refund all the money you tipped? Yi Yang had tipped way too much. There was no way she could just accept it with a clear conscience. She absolutely didn't want brother Yi thinking she was some kind of gold digger. Haha, stop talking like that. Didn't you say you were gonna treat me to a meal? Just make it up to me with that dinner. After casually firing off that message, Yi Young lazily headed back up to the master bedroom. After wrapping up such an intense and thrilling day, buzz from the Romanée Conti was slowly creeping up on him, and he drifted off into a sweet, deep sleep. Wrapping up his very first day of being filthy rich. Phew, the next morning, he woke up. Sunlight was pouring in through the massive floor-to-ceiling windows, shining right onto Yi Yang's face, making him feel incredibly warm and comfortable. Is this the kind of security billionaires feel? In his past life, Yi Young was constantly stressing out about making money, every single waking moment. Looks like starting today, the only thing he'd have to worry about is a happy kind of stress. Oh, right, I tipped so much money last night, there's gotta be some kind of reward, right? Last night, he was so wasted from chugging Romanée Conti that cost tens of thousands per sip, he had completely missed the system notification chime. The after effects of that wine were seriously strong, yet waking up, he actually felt unbelievably refreshed. No headache at all, maybe. This was the true magic of Romanée Conti, the undisputed king of red wines. Wait a second, I remember now. Yi Young suddenly slapped his forehead. Last night, right as the wine went to his head and a split second before he passed out, the system's reward chime had gone off. Detected that you have spent 2.68 million on tips. Triggering special reward. Chinese martial arts mastery. Don't tell me, the reason I don't have a hangover isn't because the wine was good, but because my physical stats actually leveled up? Yi Young leapt out of bed, realizing his body felt as light as a feather, so much so that he almost slammed straight into his 4-meter-high bedroom ceiling. Holy crap, it's actually real. He didn't even need to test his combat skills. Just casually jumping over 4 meters high? The world record was only 3 meters. This was already officially beyond normal human limits. This boundless energy, feeling like he could fight for 7 days and 7 nights straight without ever getting tired. This is seriously awesome. Yi Young clenched his fist, feeling that absolute, explosive surge of energy flowing through his veins. His confidence was through the roof, waking up completely refreshed and energized. Now that he had finally struck it rich, it's time to give back to mom and dad, Yi Young murmured. He had originally planned to spend half of his first month's internship salary on gifts for them, but now, there was no need to hold back. That massage chair mom had her eye on for years but never asked for, the top-tier professional fishing rod dad had always dreamed of, and a replacement for my little sister's broken-down laptop. Buy it all. Yi Young opened up his shopping app and went on a massive ordering spree. He just knew his parents and sister would be thrilled when they saw these gifts. These things weren't exactly cheap for an average person, but altogether, they only cost a few tens of thousands. But Yi Young wasn't satisfied. When it came to giving back to his parents, there was no such thing as too much. This time, the system had only rewarded him with 100 million in cash. It seemed the system rewarded him based on how much he spent. As for the money he had already spent, the rewards were completely random. Looks like, knowing how to spend money was truly an art form in itself. Listening to the reward notifications chiming in his ear, Yi Young started to figure out the system's pattern. I'll wire 200,000 to mom and dad's bank account too. Yi Young made up his mind. He was heading to the Empire building today anyway to check out his new real estate, so he could just swing by the bank to make the transfer on the way. He was only sending 200,000, not because he was cheap. If he actually sent 1 million, the old couple would probably freak out and think he was doing something illegal in the city, and he'd get a whole lecture about being an honest person. At the Rainbow Road branch of Dongfa Bank, Yi Young parked his car and walked up to a teller window. I'd like to make a transfer. The teller, Lang Mei, took one look at Yi Yang's cheap outfit. Clearly unimpressed, she said dismissively, your card has a daily transfer limit of 50,000. You can't send any more than that. When she heard Yi Young wanted to transfer 200,000, she scoffed and said coldly, can you raise the limit? Yi Young frowned. Why was this woman talking to him like he owed her money instead of treating him like a customer? Sure thing. How much? Is 100 million enough for you? Lang Mei rolled her eyes. That billionaire from the carnival event. She had even sent him a couple of her photos. She basically offered herself up to his bed. But he had completely ignored her. The rejection had triggered her insecurities, putting her in a terrible mood all day. So when she saw this young guy dressed like a broke loser, she couldn't help but take her bitterness out on him. What's that supposed to mean? Yi Yang's frown deepened, his tone turning icy as well. She sneered, why don't you check how much is actually in your account? Before you come in here trying to act like a big boss raising your limits. God, you're pathetic. If you don't belong in that circle, stop shamelessly trying to force your way in. Lang Mei was openly insulting Yi Young, but deep down, she was really lashing out at her own pathetic failure. To bag that billionaire, I actually don't know how much money is in my account. Why don't you count it for me? Yi Young let out a cold laugh. You broke little punk, I can see your pathetic balance at a single glance, holy shit. She shot up from her chair like she'd been electrocuted. Clamping a hand over her mouth, she couldn't believe her own eyes. 1 0, 2 zeros. That's over a freaking billion. That was over $1 billion in pure cash. Anyone who kept over $1 billion in liquid cash in a single checking account must have a total net worth in the tens of billions. Her bitter, insecure little rant had just been directed at an absolute titan. Sir, I am so sorry. It finally dawned on her exactly who she was dealing with. She had just brought a massive disaster upon herself. A sharp-eyed bystander had already tipped off the bank manager. Hearing that someone had offended a mega client with over $1 billion in deposits, the Dongfa branch manager rushed down from his upstairs office. He looked completely disheveled, but his face was already plastered with a flattering smile. This client is a massive deal. Mr. Yi, the young girl at our front desk just didn't know any better. I'll fire her right away. Please, don't hold it against us. I will personally take care of all your requests, and upgrade your account to a Supreme Black Card, completely free of charge. The manager kept showering him with apologies and praises. Even though there were plenty of rich people in Shanghai, this was just a local branch. If a Titan client with over $1 billion in deposits pulled his funds, it would be more than enough for the head office to strip his title and fire him on the spot. So, he completely threw his dignity out the window, sucking up to Yi Yang with everything he had. Yi Yang gave a slight nod, barely satisfied with the branch manager's attitude. The Supreme Black Card from Dongfa Bank carried serious weight. Just pulling it out was basically a status symbol. The Supreme Black Card had no daily transfer limits. The annual interest rates were privately negotiated too, usually several times higher than what normal users got. You needed over 100 million in assets just to qualify, and the processing fee alone was hundreds of thousands. Just leaving your money in there guaranteed an extra 10 million or more in assets every single year. This was exactly why the rich just kept getting richer, without doing a single thing. Even just sitting in a bank, their money would just keep multiplying. Ling Mei stood there, completely dumbfounded. A single slip of the tongue, and she had just lost her job. A plot twist straight out of a soap opera had actually happened to her. This young man's power was simply terrifying. She hung her head low, her mind completely blank, swearing to herself she would never judge a book by its cover again. Gripping his new Supreme Black Card, Yi Yang transferred 200,000 to his parents' account. After that, he walked out and hopped into his Lamborghini Veneno. Ring, ring, ring. Just as he sat down, he got a call from his parents. Knew it, Yi Yang smiled, shaking his head as he answered the phone. Yang, what's going on with you? Where did all this money suddenly come from? Your dad and I counted the zeros several times. It's 200,000. His mom's voice echoed from the phone. I quit my job to start my own business. I made some money. Don't worry, just spend it. Every penny of it is clean. Yi Yang chuckled inwardly. After all, he had worked so hard spending money to earn this back. It was his blood, sweat, and tears. Muffled discussions from the older couple came through the line. It took them a good minute to wrap their heads around what Yi Yang had just said. Starting your own company? Wow, my boy is a big boss now. So promising. He gets that from me. His dad's hearty voice boomed in the background. Oh, shove off. His mom chimed in again, her voice laced with worry. Don't work yourself too hard, okay? I know life isn't easy out there in Shanghai. The pressure to buy a house is just too much. If it gets too tough, just save up a little and come back home. She kept lecturing him gently. In the past, hearing these kinds of talks would have definitely made him anxious. But now, he was literally living in the Yunding No. 1 villa. His whole mindset had shifted, so naturally, none of those old worries bothered him anymore. The company is doing great, Mom. We've got a few massive projects lined up in the next few days. Once those close, your son is gonna be a real big shot. So relax, okay? When I make some more money, I'll send you a bit more. Yi Yang chuckled. No. Your dad and I have everything we need. Our pensions are plenty to live on. Don't go blowing your money just because you have some now. You need to save up. You've still got to buy a house, a car, and find yourself a wife down the road. Alright. You foolish old woman, you're always so short-sighted. Our boy is destined for great things. Oh, and I suppose you're the visionary here? You still ended up marrying me back in the day, didn't you? What, you just want our son to make money? And never get a wife? Don't tell me you don't want a chubby little grandson. The old couple bickered for a bit longer, and Yi Yang just listened with a warm smile. With his mindset these days, listening to his parents nagging actually felt like a blessing. Alright, Mom, I'm still a long way from getting married. Just spend the money for now. I'll send you guys some more in a few days. I'm gonna hang up now. Yi Yang hung up the phone. As for his little sister, she was still in high school, so it wouldn't be good to give her too much cash. He wired her 5,000 on WeChat. She probably wouldn't even see it until after school anyway. Alright, time to go check out my new property. Whistling a cheerful tune, Yi Yang drove his Lamborghini Veneno, heading straight for the Empire Building. The Empire Building was his absolute biggest trump card right now. He had looked it up specifically yesterday. This single skyscraper was worth at least several hundred billion. With this building alone, his net worth instantly catapulted him to the very top of the China Forbes list. The potential for growth was limitless, even if it just sat there. And he did absolutely nothing but collect rent. Every 10 years, his rental income would rake in tens of billions. It was literally a goose that laid golden eggs. Turns out, the only thing separating me from the wealthiest tycoons in China was just one building. Yi Yang cruised along casually, and it wasn't long before he pulled up to the Empire Building. It was already 10 in the morning. After parking his car in the underground garage, he strolled into the building just like he always used to. He still had a few personal things left at his old company. He had taken a lot of crap there, all under the so-called guise of training the rookies. In reality, it was just pure exploitation of fresh labor. Add to that all the unfair treatment he had endured from that miserable, nitpicking team leader, Jin Buzheng. Today, he was going to pay it back 10 times over. Ding! A chime rang out from the elevator. Yi Yang lazily sauntered onto the company floor and headed for the intern area. Right now, everyone in the intern section was on edge, totally terrified. They were whispering nervously. I heard team leader Jin got completely humiliated by Yi Yang at the bubble tea shop yesterday. Now he's standing guard out here, just waiting to make his life a living hell. And Yi Yang hasn't even shown up yet today. Do you think he's too scared to show? What are you even talking about? Yi Yang isn't scared of anyone. A female intern chimed in defensively. Oh yeah? Then why isn't he here yet? Hey, what a coward. A few jealous male interns eagerly piled on. Hey, it's just the truth. The female intern couldn't really argue with that, so she just muttered under her breath. Maybe he just overslept. Who cares what his excuse is? Jin Buzheng slammed his foot onto a desk, his face so twisted with rage he looked completely deranged. He had it pretty good since he was a kid, growing up in a wealthy family. His brother-in-law is a top executive here, so he's always gotten whatever the hell he wants. Nobody dares to act tough around him. But yesterday, not only did Yi Yang, some fresh out of college punk, show him up. He completely crushed his ego. That same night, that glamorous chick of his dumped him for being a spineless coward. She just flat out ditched him. He tried to act like a badass, but ended up losing everything. That made him absolutely explode. You messed with the wrong guy. And today, he has the fucking nerve to be late. He is dead meat, I'm telling you all. Even God himself couldn't save his ass now. That's a promise from your boss, Jin. Oh, is that so? Yi Yang's voice drifted over, lazy and completely unbothered. A few of the female interns immediately lit up. They quickly turned to look at him, but then, they started worrying about him again. After all, absolutely no one dared to cross Jin in this company. And this time, he was clearly burning with pure rage. Yi Yang was in deep trouble. A few jealous guys were already gloating, while his only real friend in the room kept frantically shooting him warning looks. Yi Yang glanced at Zheng Xian, who was practically doing facial gymnastics trying to warn him to watch out. He just gave a careless smile. He and Zheng Xian went way back to middle school. He had always been his loyal sidekick, always calling him Boss Yi. After graduation, they somehow ended up at the exact same company. Their bond was absolutely ironclad. You're fucking late today, and you've still got that smug look on your face? Acting real tough, huh? Seeing his prey finally arrive, Jin jumped straight off the desk. He shoved his gold-rimmed glasses up his nose, and aggressively marched right up into his face. The whole reason Yi Yang had come to resign first, instead of just revealing his true identity and taking over the entire building, was exactly for this moment. He knew a scumbag like Jin would absolutely try to start something today. If he showed his hand too early, with Jin's pathetic lack of guts, the coward would drop to his knees begging for mercy on the spot. And that would ruin all the fun of crushing him personally. With Yi Yang's current power, kicking this idiot and his executive brother-in-law to the curb would only take a single word. But a punishment like that? That wasn't nearly satisfying enough. Yi Yang had a simple rule in life. Repay kindness tenfold, but repay a grudge with a flurry of fists. He wasn't about to hold back. What's the matter? You actually want to throw hands? Yi Yang let out a cold, mocking laugh. So what if I beat the hell out of you? Today, I'm not just gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna make sure you're thrown out of this damn company. Jin roared. Jin, hey, let's just drop it. It's really not that big of a deal. Just let him apologize and we can move on. Zheng Xian, feeling the heavy tension, hurriedly stood up to defuse the situation. Get the fuck out of my way. Who the hell do you think you are? You think you have the right to beg for him in front of me? Jin didn't even spare Zheng Xian a glance, just violently shoved him out of the way. Zheng Xian flared up with anger, but he desperately needed this job. He didn't dare to throw the first punch. Beat me up, and then throw me out of the company? That's a fantastic idea. It suits you perfectly. Yi Yang flashed a wicked grin. Are you out of your fucking mind? Jin was actually taken aback by his psycho smile. Don't you try to act tough with me, I'm warning you. Security. Truth be told, he had absolutely no confidence in winning a fist fight against the tall, heavily built Yi Yang. So I've had the security guards in my pocket this whole time. Today, I'm going to humiliate you right here in front of everyone. With my foot stepping on your face, let's see how you'll ever survive in this industry again. Jin Bujung waved his hand, and the two bought-off security guards behind him instantly closed in. Yi Yang let out a heavy sigh. He spun around, launching a sweeping high roundhouse kick. The wind howled. That kick was so fast it became a blur, sharp and absolutely lethal. Bang, bang, before the co-workers could even see what happened, those two security guards were sent flying by a single kick, smashing straight into the glass doors 2 meters away. They shattered the glass and collapsed into a pile of jagged shards. Covered in blood, they groaned in agony. Holy shit, all the interns in the room gasped. Holy shit. Frozen in absolute shock. Even Zheng Xian, who had just stepped up to help block the guards for Yi Yang, stood there dumbfounded. It took him a long moment to snap back to reality. Damn, Boss Yi. You've been hiding some serious skills. You actually know martial arts. The female interns, who had been worried sick about Yi Yang, collectively breathed a huge sigh of relief. Thank God our handsome boss is such a badass fighter, otherwise things would have gotten really ugly today. The sound of shattering glass drew in a crowd of other co-workers to see what was going on. Someone had already sprinted to the manager's office to report it. A fight broke out? Who is it? Oh, it's just Jin Bujung? Nothing to worry about then. He acts all high and mighty every day just because of his brother-in-law. Looks like he messed with the wrong guy this time. Beat the living hell out of him. He fucking deserves it. A hot-tempered guy from the northeast punched the air and yelled. You, what are you doing? Don't come any closer. Jin Bujung was already terrified out of his mind by Yi Yang's kick. He had collapsed to the ground, scooting backward on his ass. His eyes were wide with pure terror. I'm warning you, my brother-in-law is Manager Gao. Doing exactly what Jin had planned to do a moment ago. Yi Yang planted his foot down, stepping directly on Jin Buung's face. Weren't you acting all tough just now? Why so quiet now, man? Boss Yi. Zheng Xian watched from the sidelines, completely dumbfounded. Yi Yang was acting totally ruthless today. Even though the interns in the crowd felt an immense sense of satisfaction watching this, still. No matter how you look at it, the guy had some serious power and influence backing him up. And Jin himself was known for being incredibly petty. Treating him like this, Yi Yang was definitely going to face some brutal revenge. Yi Yang, what the hell are you doing? Let Jin Bujung go, right now. The managers, having heard about a vicious brawl, came rushing over to stop it. And what if I don't? Yi Yang scoffed, pressing his foot down even harder. His strength was now far beyond that of a normal human. If he pushed down just a little bit more, he could easily crush Jin Buung's head like a grape. Brother-in-law, save me. You, Jin Bujung wailed in agony. Get your foot off him. You insignificant little employee. Not only do you break company rules, you start a vicious brawl. Disrespecting your superiors, I'm firing you today, and then I'm dragging you straight to the police station so you can rot in a jail cell for the next few years. I will personally see to it that your entire future is ruined. Manager Gao roared, practically foaming at the mouth with rage. Yi Yang let out a cold laugh and slowly lifted his foot. With his new, elevated status, he obviously wasn't going to actually murder Jin Bujung out in public. Completely losing his dignity, Jin Bujung scrambled and crawled his way to hide behind Manager Gao. With a glaring, blood-red shoe print on his face, he glared at Yi Yang with a mix of terror and pure malice. You are dead meat, let me tell you. Seeing that Jin Bujung was alright, Manager Gao regained his arrogant swagger and let out a cold sneer. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how the rich and powerful play the game. Oh, really? Yi Yang raised an eyebrow. You think you're worthy of calling yourself rich in front of me? Just as Manager Gao was about to spit out more threats, Yi Yang's phone started ringing. Yi Yang answered the call. Hello? May I ask if this is Mr. Yi Yang? I am the representative of the Empire Building's board of directors, the voice on the other end said with the utmost respect. This is Yi Yang. No need to talk over the phone. I am on the 10th floor of the building right now. Let's talk face to face. Yi Yang said casually, and without even waiting for a reply. He just hung up. What the hell is he doing? Calling for backup? He's just some snot-nosed brat fresh out of school working here in Shanghai. What kind of connections could he possibly have? He sure puts on a good act, though. The crowd around them burst into whispers. Manager Gao just stood there, waiting with an amused smirk. He wanted to see just how much power this little brat's backup could actually have. Whoever it was would have to beg for mercy the moment they saw him. That way, he could completely crush Yi Yang's confidence before tossing his ass in jail. Now that would be deeply satisfying. Meanwhile, on the 100th floor, the executive boardroom, Mr. Yi said he is already here to inspect the building. Chairman Zhang Li put down the phone and said nervously, "Where is Mr. Yi right now? Let's take the cars down to pick him up ourselves. We need to give him the grandest welcome possible." The other chairman chimed in rapidly. "No need. He is on the 10th floor right now. He told us to come down for a face-to-face meeting." He sounded really pissed off. It seems like someone stepped on his toes. Chairman Zhang Li looked deeply worried. The entire board of directors turned to stare at Zhang Wanman, who had been quietly blending into the crowd. Hey, old Zhang, isn't the 10th floor where your software company operates? Did you seriously piss off Mr. Yi? Even if you gave me 800 lives, I still wouldn't dare. I have never even met Mr. Yi. Zhang Wanman's face went completely pale from absolute terror. If it really was his fault that Yi Yang decided to make things difficult for the entire board, he was going to be in a world of pain. God, I hope it wasn't one of my idiot employees causing trouble, he prayed desperately in his heart. He kept praying. Well, what are we standing around for? Hurry up and get down to the 10th floor to greet Mr. Yi. Are you going to make him come up here and see us himself? Chairman Feng Xiao urged frantically. Right. Hurry to the 10th floor. Ding! The elevator doors on the 10th floor slid open. The group of executives surrounding Yi Yang instinctively turned their heads. They got here that fast? Well, aren't they quick? Were they in such a rush to come and call me their daddy? Manager Gao sneered coldly, but the moment he turned around, his legs instantly turned to jelly, and the arrogant smirk completely vanished from his face. Wait, isn't that the chairman of Xuanming Design Company? That guy is a corporate titan worth tens of billions. But what happened next made the executive's jaws drop straight to the floor. Right behind the chairman of Xuanming Design, the chairman from every single company in the building filed out of the elevators. These legendary billionaires, who were usually impossible to track down, these high and mighty, incredibly mysterious CEOs, were now pouring into the room in absolute droves. They flooded into the 10th floor. Holy crap, what on earth is happening? The chairman of the entire building. We're almost all here, right? Everyone was completely dumbfounded. Dozens of super business tycoons, each worth at least billions, descending all at once. The sheer presence of them walking in together was absolutely mind-blowing. What's going on? Someone tried to kiss a little ass, but didn't expect Zhang Wanman to shove them right out of the way. They watched helplessly as all the chairmen walked respectfully toward the very guy he had completely looked down on. Toward Yi Yang, the guy he thought was dead meat today. What the hell is going on? It wasn't just Director Gao. Everyone felt like their brains were short-circuiting. Oh my god, it really is the chairman from every floor. Why would they all come to our company together? Did some undercover billionaire join our company just to get close to his crush? Oh gosh, that's so romantic. Meanwhile, Zheng Xian, the one who knew Yi Yang best, just scratched his head. He was getting more and more confused by how things were playing out. Mr. Yi, the chairman of Zhongli Corporation, and also the organizer of the Empire Buildings Chairman Association. For Feng Xiao to build a fortune in the tens of billions, he was naturally a shrewd titan among men. Just by looking at the expressions in the room, he could pretty much guess exactly what had happened. He grew tense, silently cursing these damn nobodies. How dare they provoke the owner of the Empire Building? The other chairmen beside him were no fools either. They naturally realized something highly unpleasant had gone down here, and were now tripping over themselves to smile apologetically at Yi Yang. Yi Yang gave a slight nod. These chairmen were the ones who would be steadily lining his pockets in the future, after all. So he still needed to maintain a decent relationship with them. Mr. Yi, did something happen here to upset you? Please, tell us. We will do everything in our power to fix it. Zhang Wanman, catching on quickly, also hurried forward. He patted his chest, promising the same. At this moment, there was no need to guess anymore. These chairmen were absolutely here for Yi Yang, and they were acting incredibly subservient. It was almost like they were begging him for something. This made everyone in the room drop their jaws in sheer shock. Having a bunch of billionaires sucking up to him so respectfully, this completely shattered their entire worldview. Ask him yourself. Yi Yang jerked his chin. His sharp, cold gaze landed on Director Gao, who was now shivering violently, looking as if his soul had left his body. It really is this fucking little bastard. Zhang Wanman's heart skipped a beat. He knew things were bad. His face twisted with rage. Gao Dan, explain yourself right now. How exactly did you offend Mr. Yi? What the fuck is happening? Director Gao screamed internally. Right now, he wanted nothing more than to jump out a damn window. He had just bragged that whoever Yi Yang called in would have to call him daddy, but reality had completely flipped on its head. Yi Yang had actually called in a squad of super elites that he would have to call grandpa to back him up. Any single one of these men could just lift a finger and make sure he'd be eating through a straw for the rest of his life. He was terrified, utterly terrified. His aggressive arrogance from a moment ago vanished without a trace. He completely lost his nerve. See Zhang, Chairman Zhang, what exactly is going on here? What's going on? Zhang Wanman was so furious he was practically blowing smoke out of his ears. This Mr. Yi standing right in front of you is the sole property owner of the entire Empire Building. His net worth is hundreds of billions at the very least. Just how much of a fucking death wish do you have to dare provoke Mr. Yi? What? The actual owner of the Empire State Building? The whole place went absolutely crazy. Everyone burst into gasps of shock. Do you have any idea what that means? He's not just some rich kid with trust fund money. He is a self-made mega billionaire. One of the absolute elites in the entire country. And the craziest part is, a massive VIP like him was actually the quiet intern they all thought they could just push around. Oh my gosh, the female interns were all covering their mouths, staring at Yi Yang with absolute stars in their eyes. I can't believe I actually guessed it right just now. He is so young, so ridiculously handsome, and incredibly loaded. Oh my god, he is literally perfect. While everyone upstairs was completely stunned speechless, Gao Dan's brain had completely short-circuited. He stammered frantically, Chairman Zhang, you're messing with me, right? He's just an intern we fired. How could he possibly be the owner of the Empire Commercial Building? Wait, fired? An intern? This time, it was the chairman's turn to be totally dumbfounded. What on earth is going on here? Yi Yang just shrugged, looking completely unfazed as he said, Mr. Yi, you must be joking. Haha, there was no way the chairman would actually believe Yi Yang was really just an intern. Billionaires at his level always had some eccentric quirks. He was probably just hiding his identity to do a secret undercover inspection. Your vision is absolutely extraordinary. You do things completely outside the box. You are truly a rare business genius in this country. Yes, exactly, for you to lower yourself and do an undercover inspection so far in advance. You've really worked hard, Mr. Yi. The chairman kept showering him with outrageous flattery. Yi Yang was completely speechless. He really was just here for an internship. Gao Dan, you little bastard, you better explain everything clearly right now, or we will end you. Chairman Zhang roared furiously, scaring Gao Dan so badly that his knees buckled. Ultimately caving under the crushing pressure from the chairman, he spilled everything, from beginning to end. Spilling every single detail without leaving absolutely anything out. As he kept talking, the chairman listening beside him broke out in a cold sweat. Bullying Mr. Yi? Slashing Mr. Yi's intern salary? Even trying to pick a fight to get Mr. Yi fired? Oh my god, he even planned to humiliate and beat him up before he left. You piece of trash. Zhang Wanman felt like his lungs were going to explode with rage. How on earth did he hire such a ridiculously arrogant, pig-headed idiot of a supervisor? He literally wanted to jump out a window. Still, as a seasoned veteran in the business world, he choked down his blazing fury, put on his most pleasant smile, and turned around. Mr. Yi, please allow me to formally apologize to you first. You call the shots. However you want to handle him. We will follow your orders completely. I promise you, I won't say a single word in protest. Then just give him exactly what he was planning to do to me. Yi Yang said casually. Zhang Wanman agreed on the spot without skipping a beat. Honestly, having a solution was a relief. If Yi Yang hadn't told him how to settle this today, his entire company would be completely destroyed. Thank you, Mr. Yi, for giving me this chance to make things right. Zhang Wanman said, overflowing with sheer gratitude. Chairman Zhang, I've been working loyally under you for over 10 years. Even if I've made mistakes, I've still poured my blood and sweat into this company. You can't do this to me. Gao Dan had completely and utterly broken down. Ha, you just dug me a massive grave, and you think I'm not gonna make you pay for it? Zhang Wanman roared furiously. You and Jin Buzheng. As of this exact moment, you are both fired. Get out of my company. Security, call the police. Tell them these two were intentionally causing trouble, and almost assaulted Mr. Yi. After barking those orders, he immediately turned to Yi Yang with an apologetic, flattering smile. Mr. Yi, are you satisfied with how I handled this? As for the rest, I will personally oversee it. With Zhang's connections and resources, he could easily ensure a heavy sentence. There was no way out for them. They'd be rotting in a cell for at least a few years. Yi Yang gave a slight nod, showing he was satisfied enough. As security dragged him away, Jin Buzheng wailed in absolute despair. I'm the one who got beaten to a pulp. You're completely twisting the facts. Seeing Jin Buzheng looking so pathetic and wronged, the crowd couldn't hold back their laughter. This tyrant, who always bullied the newbies, finally got exactly what he deserved. Karma really came back to bite him. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Alright, that's enough. Break it up. Don't you all have work to do? Zhang Wanman glared at the surrounding employees, restoring order to the office. Seeing the chairman himself lay down the law, staff didn't dare stick around for the drama, and quickly scattered, rushing back to their desks. Mr. Yi, please, come with us. After dealing with the staff, Yi Yang was escorted to the top floor by a whole entourage of executives. The moment Yi Yang and the bosses stepped into the elevator, the 10th floor absolutely exploded with gossip. After all, what just went down was mind-blowing. The plot twists gave everyone sheer whiplash. First, Jin Buzheng set people up to ruin Yi Yang. Everyone thought Yi Yang was totally screwed. But then, the guy busted out some insane hidden skills and handled the threat like it was nothing. He completely wrecked Jin Buzheng instead. And just when Manager Gao showed up, and everyone was sure Yi Yang was about to get fired, arrested, and have his life ruined, the top executives dropped in like saviors from above. In a flash, Yi Yang went from a nobody intern to the ultimate billionaire who literally owns the entire Empire State Building. This is surreal. I couldn't even make this up in my wildest dreams. Ha ha ha, I told you Yi Yang was built different. Man, what a missed opportunity. I should have sucked up to him when I had the chance. If I had known he was actually a big shot, I would have jumped right in and helped Boss Yi beat the living crap out of that guy. Oh, give it a rest. You're all talk, but man, what happened today is definitely going down in 10th floor history. Meanwhile, on the top floor of the National Commerce Building, inside the joint executive boardroom, Yi Yang was seated at the head of the table. Sitting below him were the chairman of every single floor. Mr. Yi, take a look at this. Our lease is up for renewal next month. We've drafted a proposed contract. Please, review it at your convenience. Let us know if the terms are acceptable. Chairman Feng Xiao of Zhongli respectfully pulled out a document, handing it to Yi Yang with both hands. Yi Yang casually skimmed through the document. He had no idea how the system pulled it off, but the terms lined up with what he already knew. The rent they were offering showed they were absolutely desperate to please him. He put on a good show of reading it, but deep down, he was sweating bullets. He really needed to hire someone to manage these contracts and assets for him. Since he never studied finance, looking at all this legal jargon was like reading a foreign language. He didn't understand a single word. But after comparing it with the old contract in his spatial inventory, he realized that apart from the rent increase, everything else was exactly the same. Only then was he sure the contract was fine. The group of CEOs held their breath, their eyes glued to Yi Yang. A young, ultra-wealthy tycoon who could buy out the entire Empire Trade Center at such a young age. He had to be an absolute prodigy. There was no way he didn't understand business and finance. They wouldn't dare try to pull a fast one on him. After all their discussions, these executives were absolutely convinced that Yi Yang was a massive heavyweight. So, they didn't dare play any dirty tricks with the contract. They even volunteered to raise their own rent, terrified that Yi Yang might reject it. Not bad. Yi Yang closed the folder, his expression as calm and collected as ever. Phew, the CEOs all breathed a massive sigh of relief. Since you've shown such sincerity, we'll go with the terms in this contract. As for the rent for the next 10 years, transfer it to my account within 3 days. That'll be a total of 18.9 billion. Yes, absolutely. Please don't worry, Mr. Yi. We'll get it transferred as soon as possible. The CEOs were absolutely thrilled. They hadn't expected their new landlord, Yi Yang, to be this easy to deal with. He hadn't tried to make things difficult for them at all. Well, since the contracts are all signed, I won't overstay my welcome. Yi Yang stood up from his chair. Let us walk you out, Mr. Yi. The group of executives fawned over him, incredibly eager to please. They escorted Yi Yang all the way to his car. Watching the Lamborghini Veneno roar aggressively down the street, they finally let their guard down and breathe easy. He really is a young prodigy. To think he actually got his hands on a Lamborghini Veneno, even for these billionaire bosses. Men worth tens of billions, an emperor-tier hypercar like this. A beast worth nearly 100 million, was an astronomical luxury. Anyone who could drop 100 million on a car without blinking an eye had to have a net worth in the hundreds of billions, easily. Yi Yang was in a fantastic mood right now, being surrounded by these multi-billionaires today. The kind of elite big shots he used to only see on the evening news, who were now bowing down and kissing up to him. It felt damn good. Add to that the fact that he'd finally taken care of Jin Biyuzheng, who had been bullying him for so long. And he felt absolutely refreshed. It's about time I get myself a whole new wardrobe, he thought. New clothes, new shoes. He shook his head with a chuckle. As a top-tier billionaire, walking around in these cheap rags just didn't fit his status anymore. I know just the place. Let's go take a look. Having made up his mind, Yi Yang slammed his foot on the gas. The Lamborghini Veneno's beastly V12 engine instantly let out an earth-shattering roar. Waking up like a wild, untamed monster, the supercar shot forward like a bullet, leaving the pedestrians caught in its slipstream without a single ounce of annoyance. Instead, they were left with nothing but endless envy and awe. District 6, the Magic City's prime luxury shopping hub. After pulling his ride into the VIP parking lot, Yi Yang stepped out of the Lamborghini Veneno and casually strolled into the nearest boutique. Welcome, sir. The service at these high-end stores still carried that aristocratic flair. However, because Yi Yang was dressed so shabbily, the salesgirls only maintained the bare minimum of polite courtesy. Not a single one of them wanted to step up and be his personal shopper. After all, time is money, and Yi Yang looked exactly like some broke kid who just came into a luxury store to window shop. All looking, no buying. Wasting time on a guy like him meant earning zero commission. Nobody was about to waste their precious time on him. When she looked at Yi Yang, her eyes lit up. Seeing such a sunny and handsome guy getting the cold shoulder, she just couldn't bear to watch. What kind of items are you looking for today, handsome? Yi Yang looked at her name tag. Learning the cute girl's name was Gao Shaoxin, he had definitely noticed the side eyes from the other salesgirls nearby. But he couldn't care less. In just a little bit, they'd be regretting it bitterly. A full outfit, from head to toe. Just take me straight to the most expensive stuff you have. Yi Yang spread his hands out, signaling that he wanted a complete wardrobe change. Gao Shaoxin nodded excitedly. Right this way, then. Peeved. The other salesgirls nearby couldn't hold back their snickers. Look at him. That broke loser really thinks he's some big shot VIP client. Well, if you're gonna fake it, go all the way, right? Look how thrilled Shaoxin is. She actually thinks she scored a massive client. Ah, youth. If she had my 3 to 5 years of experience, she'd know that wasting time on a broke scrub who just came in to window shop is basically throwing money away. Yeah, way too naive. A few of the veteran staff members smirked, mocking Gao Shaoxin for being so inexperienced. As for menswear, our store carries all top 10 global luxury brands. The number 1, Brioni, only does private tailoring. If you'd like a custom suit, we can get in touch with their designers for you. But, it would take at least a month for the clothes to arrive. If you're looking to buy something today, Armani and Versace both just dropped their new collections. They'd really suit a handsome guy like you. Gao Shaoxin explained carefully. Wasn't that she couldn't tell Yi Yang was dressed pretty shabbily, but she was going out of her way to protect his pride. Treating him like a genuine paying customer with nothing but patience. I see. Yi Yang scratched his head. Well then, let's start with 10 custom Brioni suits. I want the highest standard. The completely one-of-a-kind type. 2 sets each for spring, summer, fall, and winter. Oh, and throw in 2 fun, mix and match outfits while you're at it. Have them all delivered to me within half a month. As for the price, money is no object. Gao Shaoxin blinked in shock. Handsome, you're not joking, right? Brioni's custom tailoring. Their top-tier stuff costs 50 to 60,000 euros per suit. And rushing the order doubles the price. Converted to local currency, that's a total of 10 million. 10 million, Yi Yang raised an eyebrow. Yeah, so? Gao Shaoxin nodded frantically. This brand. Wait, 10 suits for only 10 million? That's a bit too cheap. Yi Yang shook his head. With his sudden wealth system, the more he spent, the more he earned. 10 million really wasn't much at all. Is Brioni really the most expensive custom tailor in the world? No, it's not. Brioni is just the most expensive and highest-ranked company for large-scale bespoke tailoring. There are also a few world-renowned, ultra-luxury master studios. The most expensive diamond suit ever made was actually crafted by Master Stuart Hughes. It's the only one of its kind in the entire world. Priced at $1 million US. A single suit, sold for over 7 million. Yi Yang nodded slowly. Not bad at all. I should definitely commission a few sets when I get the chance. Gao Shaoxin forced a bitter smile, feeling a tinge of disappointment toward Yi Yang. If only such a handsome guy could just be a bit more grounded and realistic. Clearly, a 7 million yuan suit is just okay? He's definitely full of it. Aside from the custom pieces, take every other brand of menswear in your store. Every single style for spring, summer, fall, and winter. I'll take 2 sets of each. Box them all up and have them delivered to Villa number 1 at Cloud Peak Mountain. Even buying all these clothes, it'll probably only fill a tiny corner of the place. Seeing that Yi Yang didn't look like he was joking in the slightest, Gao Shaoxin was completely stunned. Sir, are you serious? Did her moment of kindness actually hit the jackpot? Did she just run into a literal billionaire? What are you spacing out for? Here's the card, swipe it. Yi Yang casually tossed his supreme black card to Gao Shaoxin. Gao Shaoxin scrambled to catch it. As an intern at a luxury boutique, she obviously recognized the Eastern Development Bank's supreme black card. That was exclusively for members of the Billionaires Club. Now, everything made perfect sense. This handsome guy standing right in front of her was a genuine, ridiculously wealthy billionaire. Right behind them, walking in with their new clients, were the same few highly experienced senior saleswomen who had just been mocking Yi Yang and Gao Shaoxin. Right now, they were all absolutely dumbfounded. A supreme black card. He really is a billionaire. I can't believe I was so blind. Saleswomen wanted to cry, but no tears came out. The way Yi Yang was buying clothes like he was restocking a warehouse was something they had never even heard of in all their years working here. They had never seen anything like it. Just how many hundreds of thousands in commission was Gao Shaoxin going to make off this one massive sale? The saleswomen were practically dying of regret, cursing themselves for being so blind. How could they not see that Yi Yang was a low-key, ultra-rich billionaire? Turns out luxury brands aren't as expensive as I thought. Yi Yang muttered to himself, looking at the receipt for the 8 million yuan that had just been swiped from his card. He had bought over 100 suits. On average, that only came out to around 80,000 a pop. Yeah, definitely not that expensive. The massive purchase had even alarmed the store manager, who came rushing out. The owner was a mature, stunning woman in sheer black tights, radiating an incredibly elegant aura. While she wasn't quite as gorgeous as Yu Momo, she definitely had her own unique, captivating charm. Mr. Yi, about the designer. Oh, and here's our boutique's exclusive black gold VIP card. Please, do keep it safe. Once we contact the master designer from Brioni and finalize your custom styles, you can just pay the deposit then. When the time comes, I will personally pay a visit to your Cloud Peak Mountain Villa. We can discuss all the fine details then. Yi Yang just gave a calm nod. To him, this was just a trivial drop in the bucket, barely 10 million. But to the boutique's owner, Chang Wei, this was a massive, incredibly lucrative deal that she simply could not afford to neglect. Ding! Detected that you have spent 8 million on clothing. Reward: 100% exclusive ownership shares of the Stuart Hughes workshop. Huh, that name sounds pretty familiar. Yi Yang suddenly remembered. Wasn't Stuart Hughes the guy who made the absolute most expensive suits in the world? Supposedly some ridiculously legendary master designer? Wow, talk about things falling right into my lap. Yi Yang's mountain of clothes were all loaded up into a private transport and sent straight to his villa. He had no intention of sticking around either. He turned on his heel and walked right out the door, ready to hit up the place next door for a watch. He left behind a group of highly regretful, completely devastated saleswomen who could only stand there silently weeping on the inside, staring longingly at his retreating back. They say boys play with cars, but real men collect watches. If you don't have a luxury timepiece on your wrist, you can hardly call yourself a true billionaire, since he had already decided to completely upgrade his entire wardrobe, and naturally, getting a high-end watch was an absolute must. Vacherin Constantine. Yi Yang looked up at the name above the store. Even though he used to be just a broke college kid, he still knew the names of the world's most famous luxury watches. Vacherin Constantine, the absolute king of luxury timepieces. A top-tier, world-class luxury brand. Welcome, sir. Seeing him in an Armani suit worth over 100 grand, the gorgeous salesgirl's eyes instantly lit up. They practically tripped over themselves rushing over to him, terrified that if they were even a second too late, this VIP client, Yi Yang, would get snatched up by someone else. Man, what a contrast. They weren't even trying to hide it. Yi Yang chuckled to himself and shook his head. He was just about to say something when a surprised voice called out from behind him. Yi Yang. He raised an eyebrow. Yi Yang turned around. It really is you. The guy standing across from him was decked out in high-end, designer summer clothes. The girl clinging to his side was dressed just as fashionably and elegantly. While her looks weren't exactly drop-dead gorgeous, her elegant vibe definitely gave her a lot of extra points. These two were both Yi Yang's old college classmates. The guy was Xu Pengfei, and the girl was Kai Ma Mao. Xu Pengfei had been the wealthiest, most arrogant rich kid in their major, while Kai Ma Mao was the class beauty. Word on the street was that Kai Ma Mao used to have a huge crush on him. Who would have thought that these two would actually end up together? Well, what do you know? I can't believe I'm seeing you in a luxury store like this. Xu Pengfei, of course, knew all about Kai Mao Mao's old crush on Yi Yang. His tone was dripping with absolute sarcasm. In the end, the goddess always goes to the guy with the deep pockets. Sure, you might be handsome, and you might get top grades. Without money, does any of that even matter? Once the carefree, innocent days of college were over and you stepped into the real world, it was all about family wealth and background. Thinking about this, Xu Pengfei's ego skyrocketed. What? Does your family own Vacherin Constantine or something? Because if I knew that, I wouldn't have even bothered coming. Yi Yang just shrugged, firing back with total indifference. Xu Pengfei choked on his words. Sure, his family was loaded. But Vacherin Constantine? That was a world-famous, elite watchmaking empire. Compared to a global giant like that, his family's wealth was absolute garbage. I just mean, I'm pretty shocked. You've only been out of college for a few months, and you can already afford to strut around in an Armani suit? You even have the guts to walk into a place like this to look at watches. I highly doubt that you got that money legally. Back in our college days, Yi Yang was the shining star on campus. But now, out in the real world? How dare he still act so high and mighty? How dare he not show some respect? There was no way Xu Pengfei was going to swallow that. So, he just flat out sneered at him with icy sarcasm. Hey, drop it, okay? Kai Ma Mao gently tugged at Xu Pengfei's arm, looking at Yi Yang with a mix of worry and pity. She really did like Yi Yang back then, but once she faced the real world, and saw how harsh reality actually was, she had no choice but to settle for the rich kid. She knew exactly what Yi Yang's family background was like, even if he had managed to hustle and make a little bit of cash off his talents, and could somehow afford an Armani suit. Still, compared to massive family wealth like Xu Pengfei's, he was still completely out of his league. Ha! Xu Pengfei's jealousy flared up even more, and he let out a cold sneer. What? See a watch you like? I'm super tight with the boss here. Want me to buy a decent one for you? Stop staring at those cheap trash watches worth 100 grand or so. Otherwise, you'll always just be a broke loser. He deliberately flashed the $1 million Patek Philippe on his wrist. Today, he had brought Kai Ma Mao along just to open her eyes to the luxury life. If she played along, agreed to crash at his place tonight, and sealed the deal. If he was in a good mood, he'd drop a few $100 grand on a watch to reward her. The nearby salesgirl's eyes lit up the moment they saw the $1 million luxury watch on Xu Pengfei's wrist. This customer looked way richer than Yi Yang ever could. Thank God I was a step too late earlier. Haha, now this is a big spender. The whole group of salesgirls immediately ditched Yi Yang and stuck themselves right next to Xu Pengfei. Ha ha ha, Xu Pengfei couldn't hold back the smug grin spreading across his face. It was as if he was saying, see that? In the face of absolute wealth, you're nothing but a worthless speck of dust. Yi Yang just shrugged. It wasn't like he needed a shopping guide anyway. The prices were right there on display. He'd just pick whatever caught his eye, box it up, and be done with it. After all, he came here to buy watches. He actually needed to spend money to make money right now. Seeing that Yi Yang was completely ignoring him, treating him like some insignificant bug not even worth a second glance, a rush of hot embarrassment flooded Xu Pengfei's face. His whole attempt to flex had done absolutely zero damage. Instead, the guy was just acting like he didn't even exist. It made him look like a total idiot. Alright, Pengfei, aren't we here to pick out a watch for me? Don't be so mad, Kai Ma Mao coaxed him repeatedly. HMPH. Xu Pengfei let out an irritated grunt through his nose, and followed Yi Yang into the inner hall. Little punk, so what if you stumbled into some quick cash? You actually dared to walk into the inner VIP hall? Just don't let the prices scare you to death later. Everything in the outer hall of Vacheron Constantine was under $1 million. All the exclusive collections priced over $1 million were kept inside the inner hall. After stepping into the inner hall, Yi Yang finally gave a satisfied nod. These prices are more like it. The watches out there were way too cheap. Probably wouldn't trigger any decent rewards anyway. I'll take this one. Oh, and this one too. Yi Yang strolled around casually. Whenever he spotted a cool design, or anything that fit his vibe, he'd just point it out and take it. Xu Pengfei and the group of salesgirls who followed behind him watched him casually grab Supreme Collector's Edition watches. Holy shit, what the hell is this kid doing? Xu Pengfei was absolutely dumbfounded. Is he buying wholesale right now? Does he think these watches are free? He just grabbed whatever caught his eye. He seriously suspected that Yi Yang must be legally blind, and completely missed the last 3 zeros on the price tags. Otherwise, even his own dad wouldn't dare to buy luxury watches like he was stocking a grocery store. What the hell are you just grabbing at? Do you even know these watches are worth millions each? If you break one, can you even afford to pay for it? Xu Pengfei roared, completely losing his mind out of pure humiliation and rage. Yi Yang's crazy stunt had also alarmed the branch manager of Vacheron Constantine. After all, except for that emerald KV piece, almost every single supreme tier watch in the store had just been wiped out by Yi Yang. Altogether, they're worth tens of millions. Maybe up to 100 million. Yeah, I'll just take these. The rest are just way too ugly. Yi Yang waved his hand, speaking casually. Ha, Xu Pengfei let out a cold sneer. Keep faking it, buddy. Let's see how long you can keep up this act. The second it's time to pay, you're gonna be completely exposed. Just as Xu Pengfei was gearing up to watch Yi Yang make a fool of himself, the system's notification chimed in once again. Detected that the host has spent 75,980,000 on ordinary watches, rewarding 45% of Vacheron Constantine's global shares. Yi Yang raised an eyebrow. Looks like his earlier guess was spot on. The system's rewards depended heavily on what kind of stuff he was spending his money on. He gave Xu Pengfei a somewhat pitying look. While this guy was busy mocking him, he had already earned himself a top-tier global corporation. Go ahead and swipe the card. Yi Yang casually handed over his Supreme Black card. The moment he saw that Supreme Black card, Xu Pengfei's heart actually skipped a beat. A black card meant personal assets of over 100 million. And that was 100 million in cold, hard, bank deposits. Sure, he was a pretty well-off rich kid, but he still had to beg his family for money whenever he wanted a car or a watch. His own personal savings? Just a pitiful few million, that's all. He was God knows how many miles away from ever qualifying for black card privileges. How on earth does he have a black card? Xu Pengfei was completely dumbfounded. While swiping the card, Vacheron Constantine's main information network suddenly flashed an encrypted message. The branch manager felt a jolt of shock. For something like this to pop up was incredibly rare. It meant that the owner of this bank card was a super encrypted, top-level executive within the entire Vacheron Constantine Corporation. He looked at Yi Yang in astonishment. Mr. Yi, please wait just a moment. Yi Yang raised an eyebrow. This sudden shift in attitude, wait. In a massive corporation like this, even the chairman, holding 20 or 30% of the shares would be absolutely incredible. Yet he had just casually swept up 45% of the shares in one go. He had instantly become the actual controlling shareholder of Vacheron Constantine. Ha 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 ha, finally showed your true colors, didn't you? Xu Pengfei let out a massive sigh of relief. I knew this punk was just bluffing. Ha ha ha, Kai Ma Mao shot a disgusted glance at Xu Pengfei, seriously starting to second-guess her choice in men. This. The branch manager, Gong Zhaoqing, frantically typed in his manager's password. After seeing the decrypted information, his palms instantly broke out in a fine sweat, his entire body soaked in an icy, cold panic. He scrambled to his feet and bowed deeply and respectfully to Yi Yang. "I'm so sorry, I was completely blind. I honestly had no idea you were gracing us with your presence." He was trembling with sheer terror. He was clearly scared out of his wits. This young man standing right in front of him was actually the controlling shareholder of the entire Vacheron Constantine global empire. He controlled 45% of the equity, and a super billionaire like this, coming into his store just to buy some trash watches worth a few measly million? This was clearly meant as a warning to him. I was so completely clueless. He was consumed by endless regret. "Director Yi, I never should have let this low-grade trash pollute your eyes. Please wait right here for just a moment." After blurting that out, he quickly spun around and scrambled straight into the most exclusive VIP room. What the hell is going on here? Wasn't his cart supposed to be completely empty, before getting violently thrown out by security? And what did that guy just call him? Director Yi? A broke-ass loser like him deserves to be called a director? Xu Pengfei was completely dumbfounded by the situation unfolding right in front of him. He just couldn't process it at all. The sales assistants standing nearby were staring wide-eyed, too. And if Xu Pengfei was merely in a state of shock, well, then they were absolutely terrified. Gong Zhaoqing was one of the 3 general managers for Vacheron Constantine's entire Greater China region. You could say she held a transcendent status and an incredible net worth. Even a multi-billionaire couldn't make her bow her head, simply because she didn't need to. Even if she met the richest man in China, she'd be polite and respectful at best. She would never act like she just did, literally treating him like he was her own father. She was so scared that she was breaking out in a cold sweat. Just who was this young man? What kind of background did he have to make a huge shot like manager Gong react so drastically? They felt a creeping sense of unease as they realized that their earlier choice, this guy, was on a level completely beyond some rich kid wearing a $1 million watch. He was in a league so far above that, it wasn't even funny. Chairman Yi, the sales assistants muttered under their breath. The obvious answer was hovering right there in their minds. But they simply refused to believe it. After all, that was just way too incredible. Meanwhile, standing in front of the safe in the back room. Click, click. Gong Zhaoqing treated it like an absolute treasure, opening the safe with the utmost caution. She carefully took out a purple wood, gold, and diamond-encrusted watch box from inside. Just this box alone was worth a fortune. Phew, this one should definitely be worthy of Chairman Yi's status. By offering him this, Chairman Yi should be at least a little satisfied. Gong Zhaoqing was currently one of the top 3 executives for Vacheron Constantine in Greater China. Her status was indeed transcendent, but all of her wealth and power were given to her by Vacheron Constantine. And Yi Yang was the absolute master of Vacheron Constantine. With just one word, he could strip away all her glory and status. How could she dare show any disrespect? Returning to the front desk, she put on an apologetic, fawning smile and said, "Chairman Yi, this is the only Vacheron Constantine Les Cabinotier's model 80,253 allocated to the Greater China region. Since you are in need of a watch, this one might barely be worthy of your status." Now, Yi Yang had only heard of a few luxury watch brands before this. He didn't really know much about their specific tiers and models, so he had absolutely no idea what Gong Zhaoqing was talking about. The Vacheron Constantine Les Cabinotier's model 80,253, 000R? Xu Pengfei cried out in sheer disbelief. "Manager Gong, what the hell are you doing?" The others might not know what the Les Cabinotier's 80,253 was, but as a top-tier rich kid who collected watches all year round, how could he not know? The Vacheron Constantine Les Cabinotier's model 80,253, 000R. There were only 6 of them in the entire world. Not 600, only 6. And one of them was currently sitting on the wrist of the Russian president, Putin. As for the price, money simply couldn't describe a watch like this. Because you couldn't just buy this watch with cash. If you wanted to wear this watch, you needed supreme, untouchable status and power. Yi Yang was just some broke, pathetic loser. Putting him on the same level as a world-class titan like the Russian president? Are you insane? What am I doing? Chairman Yi is the ultimate global controlling shareholder of our Vacheron Constantine Corporation. Only a masterpiece like this is truly worthy of his status. There is no why. Gong Zhaoqing snapped angrily. He remembered Xu Pengfei. He'd actually met his father once before. Scolding the kid right now was him doing a massive favor. A minor trust fund kid like Xu Pengfei, standing in front of Yi Yang, wasn't even a bug worth squashing. If they really made an enemy out of him, his entire family would go down in flames. Yelling at him now, and revealing Yi Yang's true identity, was just to knock some sense into Xu Pengfei's thick skull. "Don't do anything stupid, Mr. Gong. What did you just say?" Xu Pengfei was completely dumbfounded. His mind went totally blank. The global controlling shareholder of Vacheron Constantine? Beside him, even Kai Mao couldn't help but cover her mouth, letting out a sharp gasp. She stared at Yi Yang in utter disbelief. If she had known this, back in college, no matter what it took, she never should have let go of what might be the most perfect boyfriend in the world. Compared to Yi Yang's status, what was Xu Pengfei anyway? I must be dreaming, Xu Pengfei muttered, shaking his head. Gong Zhaoqing sighed inwardly. Sir. Whatever you need, just say the word. At the time, he had been genuinely terrified himself. This one is nice. Looks really good. Yi Yang put on the Les Cabinotiers 80253-000R, and gave Gong Zhaoqing a satisfied nod. You've got a good head on your shoulders. I'll remember you. After leaving the Vacherin Constantine boutique, he strolled around the nearby shops. He picked up a new phone and a few interesting gadgets, dropping a couple of million yuan in total. By the time he finished touring the Devil 6 luxury district, Yi Yang was decked out in a completely brand new wardrobe. An Armani suit, the Vacherin Constantine Les Cabinotiers 000R, and his Lamborghini Veneno. Finally looking the part of a billionaire, Yi Yang checked himself out in the rearview mirror, feeling pretty damn good about his new look. Clothes really do make the man. Now dressed in high-end luxury, coupled with the commanding aura from his martial arts mastery, the already handsome and charming Yi Yang had become absolutely striking. Just standing by the street was enough to turn the heads of countless gorgeous women. Women shopping in the luxury district naturally had sky-high standards. But even so, just laying eyes on the radiant Yi Yang was enough to make them blush and their hearts race. However, seeing his insanely expensive outfit, these beauties instantly felt completely out of his league. A supreme billionaire like him wasn't someone an average girl would dare approach. Only those utterly confident in their looks would even think about trying. Ding! A new message. Yi Yang opened WeChat and saw a new message from Lin Xue'er. Brother Yi, where are you right now? Are you free tonight? I still owe you that dinner. Winky face. Yi Yang chuckled and shook his head. Last night, seeing how much he had gifted her on stream, she had wanted to refund the money. He'd half-jokingly told her she could just buy him dinner today instead. Letting the meal cover the debt was fine by him. He just hadn't expected the little lady to take it so seriously. I'll come pick you up. Just pick a nice place to eat, and leave the rest to me. Yi Yang texted back. I'll be waiting downstairs at my place. He chuckled playfully, putting his phone away. Yi Yang opened his car door, getting ready to pick up Lin Xue'er. Hey, handsome, you're so gorgeous. Could I get your WeChat? Yi Yang raised an eyebrow and turned his head. His eyes lit up. There were plenty of stylish, beautiful girls around Devil number 6. But a girl dressed in such a breathtaking traditional hanfu, with a flawless oval face, was still incredibly striking. Is that okay? The girl looked about 19, her big, adorable eyes sparkling with hopeful anticipation. With such a sweet, innocent girl taking the initiative to ask for his WeChat, Yi Yang naturally wasn't going to say no. With a faint smile, they added each other, and then he drove his Lamborghini Veneno, speeding off into the distance. He's just too handsome. Long after Yi Yang had driven away, the love-struck smile on Ling Xixi's face still hadn't faded. Let's see which of the girls in my circle dares to make fun of me for not having a convention partner now. If I can sweet-talk that handsome guy into coming with me, we'd absolutely steal the show. Meanwhile, outside the Fuhua residential complex, Lin Xue'er had dressed up meticulously before coming out. Her cherry red lipstick wasn't overly flashy, but instead perfectly complemented her delicate features, making her look incredibly alluring as her dress fluttered lightly in the breeze. Even from behind, her beauty seemed almost otherworldly. Pedestrians stared at her, completely captivated. One guy even crashed his electric scooter straight into a telephone pole because he was too busy looking. Wow, she's gorgeous. Even the celebrities on TV can't compare to her. Sigh, she's definitely taken. Look, she's waiting for someone. I wonder what kind of lucky loser managed to score a beauty like that. Well, it certainly ain't you. Haha, get out of here. The passers-by were gossiping all around her, but Lin Xue'er was completely used to it by now. Whenever she put effort into her appearance, she was always the absolute center of attention. Right now, though, she didn't have the patience to care about the whispers around her. Instead, she stared nervously at her toes in her brown leather heels, constantly glancing around in anticipation. It wasn't until a sleek black blur sped into her line of sight that her tense anxiety finally began to melt away. Click. The car door swung open automatically. Sorry to keep you waiting, came a voice from inside. Yi Yang smiled and waved at her. Hop in. Lin Xue'er nodded eagerly and slid into the Lamborghini Veneno. Have you thought about where you want to eat? Yi Yang asked. I spent ages looking it up last night. And the most expensive 3-star Michelin restaurant in Shanghai is Zigwang Pavilion. Just one meal there costs tens of thousands of yuan. She playfully stuck out her tongue, giving a slightly embarrassed laugh. Honestly, she couldn't find a more expensive place if she tried. Zigwang Pavilion. Yi Yang nodded slowly. For high-end places like that, you usually have to make a reservation in advance. He dialed the number from their official website. Hello, sir. You've reached the reservations desk at Zigwang Pavilion in Shanghai. A sweet female voice chimed in. Hello, I'd like to dine at Zigwang Pavilion tonight, so I'm calling to reserve a table and order our food. Lin Xue'er listened as the receptionist replied, I'm so sorry. Zigwang Pavilion only serves 10 guests per day, and we are already fully booked for tonight. Our current reservations stretch out for the next 10 days. Regardless of your status, we're fully booked for the next 10 days. Yi Yang frowned. With his current hearing, he could naturally hear everything crystal clear. Although the receptionist sounded polite on the surface, there was a trace of arrogance in her tone that rubbed him the wrong way. Just a tiny restaurant, and they dare put on airs like this? He looked at the troubled Lin Xue'er as she handed the phone over to him. Get your boss on the line. Otherwise, he's going to miss out on the chance to prepare a $1 million feast. Yi Yang frowned, getting straight to the point. Oh, 1 million? The receptionist stammered, clearly terrified by the sheer number. The so-called rules of the Purple Light Pavilion were nothing but a scarcity marketing tactic. A meal cost tens of thousands. Even if they didn't cap it at 10 customers a day, there wouldn't be a huge crowd anyway. Their pure monthly profit was only a few million at most. Besides, listening to this gentleman's tone, dropping $1 million on a lavish meal seemed as casual as breathing. She knew right then that this was a real big shot. Not daring to waste another second, she transferred the call straight to the back kitchen, right into the hands of Paul Parrot, who was currently cooking. Paul was French, and a world-class, super 7-star executive chef. He came to Shanghai to found the Purple Light Pavilion solely to pursue his culinary philosophy and ideals. Serving only 10 people a day, making sure every single dish for every single guest was personally crafted by his own hands. Didn't I tell you that unless it's an absolute emergency, no one is allowed to disturb me during my sacred cooking time? Paul frowned, incredibly annoyed by the interruption. Despite his displeasure, after hearing the receptionist's panicked explanation, he reluctantly took the call. Listen here, sir. If you think you can use money to insult my dreams, you've got the wrong guy. Paul stated righteously, even if I have to close the restaurant for the day, I will never break my own rules. I have professional ethics and boundaries. Rules are rules. Is that right? A faint smirk crept up the corners of Yi Yang's mouth. Well, from this moment on, I am the owner of the Purple Light Pavilion, and the restaurant's rules are changing to 12 people a day. What kind of crazy nonsense are you spouting? You think just because you have money you can do whatever you want? Paul frowned, ready to go on another rant about his ideals. However, Yi Yang's very next sentence shut him up instantly. 300 million. Sir, what did you just say? Paul was completely dumbfounded. 300 million to buy your Purple Light Pavilion. If that's not enough, then 1 billion. Yi Yang smiled casually. Besides, the more money he spent, the better his rewards would be. He really wanted to see which was tougher, Paul's stubborn pride, or 1 billion in cash.